Wilson Morales from Black Film and TV, talking to the leads of the new series Kold and Windy. We have Shakia here as well as Nijah. How's it going?
It's going good.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Each of you have had your own shared projects which you acted in, but this is a lead role for both of you. Obviously, all episodes, more lines on a page. So before we even get to talk about the roles you're playing, how did it come about for you? Shakia?
An audition. An audition came through my email with sides, and I had to do about 3 to 4 scenes and a rap. We had to do like I think maybe a verse and a hook of a rap, and that's what we had to submit. And then you just kind of wait, and then you hear back, and that's when I found out I got the role.
Okay, and Nijah?
Same, yeah. The audition came to me. I could audition for Kold or Windy. I actually auditioned for Kold, and then casting got to me and was like, "We want you to audition for Windy, and we need it like now." So then, thank God, the scenes were the same. So I still had the lines. I could perform the same rap, and I just shot to my homeboy house, and we put it on tape and turned it in. So same came through as an audition as well from my agent.
Acting is one thing, rapping is another. It takes some time to get the lyrics right and to feel authentic, when you're doing it on camera. So how much knowledge did you have in that world? Did you have to really practice for it?
Oh. I had experience with music before. I grew up singing in the church choir. I was on the track of being an artist, a musician and a singer. But when I got to college, I started just getting involved in a lot of different things, and acting and performing just became one of those. So I kind of already knew how to record in the studio and how to do a lot of the technical things of recording. But rapping was just different because it's about timing. It's about, your inflections. It's about how you breathe. So that took a lot of practice. I would say pretty much when I found out I got the role, I was rapping every day, like in the shower, walking down the street, any rapper. It didn't even matter. It didn't have to be Chicago rap, just any rap song I knew. I was just trying to get it in my mouth, and then trying to practice rapping without the music, because a lot of times we sing along to a lot of songs and we think we sound good, but when we turn off the music off, you hear the real person. So a lot of it is just like a cappella rapping and practicing and drilling it in your head so that you can not try to mimic another rapper, but find the rapper in your own voice, if that makes sense.
Okay. What about you, Nijah? How much game did you have before this?
Yeah, I had 0. I was not on track to be a musician. I was on track to be a psychologist, a doctor, a therapist. So, I've rapped, like she said, for fun, but actually having to learn about being in the studio and doing breath control, all that was new to me. So I practiced a lot right here, like in my living room, just listening to music and finding my own voice, not wanting to really copy, but understanding like how it worked, and just practicing a lot, like practicing the words, especially because Windy is a freestyler off the dome. She doesn't need the words. So it put a lot of pressure on me to be off book with these and really know it and breathe this and look like I know it, and not just look like I'm reading, but I'm giving a real performance and I believe what I'm saying. So that just on and off again, constantly rapping, so that it just felt normal. Like I felt comfortable doing it.
Now you mentioned something earlier, not only is it just rap music, but you're talking Chicago music, drill music, which is a whole different level, and so that has to be, so not only do you guys have your own way of rapping and so forth, but now you have to learn this style, because at the end of the day, when people are watching the show, those from Chicago will be like, that's not authentic, so they're going to really hear you and feel you and see if any of that stuff rings true. Did you have to go to Chicago? Was there anybody that helped you out to get an idea about the music you're talking about?
Yeah, we had Strings on set with us. She's from Chicago, a female rapper who has had a lot of accomplishments in her career. Burning Extreme Brown, he's one of the producers on the show, but he's also one of our main music producers, and he's from Chicago. So a lot of the producers and the writers are Chicago natives, and they helped us bring that authenticity. And we were just trying to make sure that we weren't necessarily trying to mimic anyone from Chicago, but trying to figure out how would we sound if we were from Chicago, so that we can still have a bit of ourselves in it, but also kind of honoring the authentic sound. For Kold in particular, she's actually trying to get away from drill music. So that was difficult for me because Kold isn't trying to sound like a drill rapper when we start the show off. Even though they are drill rappers, Kold is almost playing around and trying to experiment and trying to rebel against drill in an odd way by changing her style and changing her flow and trying to sound like a different person that she probably just hasn't even figured out yet. So she's kind of going through this process of reconfiguring out her rap style as we go through the show.
Now, the one thing is, it's like, now we're going to go into the characters. I always think that when everybody's playing a role, there's a little bit of themselves in the character they're playing. Nijah, you mentioned you initially wanted to try out for Kold, but you end up playing Wendy. How do you relate to Wendy now that you're playing her?
That's an amazing question, because with Kold, like she said, Kold is trying to get out of the streets. She's trying to get out of drill. I'm from the suburb. I don't know nothing about the streets. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I could do her. But Wendy, even though she wants to be in the streets, wants to stick to everything that drill stands behind, she also doesn't care. She's confident. She still has some internal struggles, but she doesn't really like anybody to see her sweat. She has a pretty hard exterior. She's expressive, and that is where I connected with her. And it's crazy that it initially took someone else to see that. And then I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll try out. And I killed it. Even while doing the audition, I was like, dang, why didn't you go for this first? You kind of judged the character a little bit. Like, you have way more in common with her than you thought you did. It may not be exactly synonymous, but some of those like characteristics and how she feels and how she goes about life and applies certain things to life, it's not in the streets. You're not killing people and taking lives, but you're killing these roles and getting jobs, so it kind of goes hand in hand. So that's how I relate to her.
Yeah. And what about you, Shakira? How are you connected to Kold?
Honestly, I totally forgot we got to pick the character. When we got the audition, it did say pick Kold or Wendy, and I read Kold, and I immediately knew Kold was the character I wanted to play. Just because her breakdown, it just felt like she was somebody trying to change her life, change her situation, change her circumstances. She's looking for a better life. And I think that was just inspiring to me. She's the mother, so I just knew she was gonna be grounded because she has a child that she's fighting for. So that even though she lives this life of violence and she has a criminal record, that's not all she is. So I personally don't have a criminal record. I haven't killed anybody. But I feel like deep down, Kold is a loving and caring and affectionate person. She's someone who wants love. She wants a family. She wants the American dream. She wants success. She wants all those things, and I think we all want those things, or at least I know I want those things. So that's kind of where I hold Kold in my heart, as someone who is ambitious and is just trying to find a better way for herself.
Everybody's always trying to go for that lead role. Everybody's first, you're trying to get a job. Then you're trying to get that lead role. Now that you've had it and you're number one on the call sheet, where you have a lot more to do and a lot more pages, was there a little bit of nervousness on that first day of set when you're like, okay, now I got the role and I'm like, I can do this, because, at the end of the day, that they can't do 20 takes on you guys. You got to have to be ready and on point. How much have you grown as an actress, knowing you have these lead roles and you have to do a lot more because you're on the pages? Nijah?
I feel like I have grown so much in all aspects, because you want something so bad, because like you said, the money, the job, what it comes with, the lead, every actor's dream, but there's so much that comes with that you feel like you're prepared for that. When you get in that situation, it's like, oh my gosh, it really forces you and grows you and stretches you, because like a lot of things that we even prepare for, it's nothing like the real thing. Like, you can practice all you want. I don't know what the reference is about like how boxers train and train and train, but then when they finally get hit in the jaw, it is nothing like the training that they went through. So it definitely stretched, because I was presented with so many challenges, so many just things that were expected out of me in a very short time. So I had no choice but to grow and expand, which I just feel like I can literally do anything now. Because with lead, it's different from like a co-star, maybe like a guest star, where this is just it. You don't have much of an arc. You have so much and so many layers that you have to show. So things that, I mean, I honestly feel like I can do anything and everything, but actually now doing it and accomplishing it successfully in a short period of time and under pressure, or okay, we're done with this, on to the next scene, and switching from, like you said, a funeral, and then I'm happy, and then I'm killing somebody. It's a lot. Like, I really feel like I'm equipped now. Like, like I feel like I've been to war, and now I got status, street credibility, actor credibility. So great.
Your game, has your game blown up? Obviously, as an actor, you've done other roles, but now obviously people get to see you week after week, and they'll get to know you. They'll start Googling you, and they're going to see you, and now they'll see you in the lead role.
Yes, I definitely feel like I've grown so much playing this character. I feel like when I was a kid and I wanted to be an artist, it was just a dream. It was like, I don't even know what I thought it was, but I don't think it's like when you become a lead, you think it's about the red carpets and the screenings and all the awards, but it's work. It is a job. You got a call time. If it's 5 a.m., if it's 6 a.m., if it's 2 a.m., you got to be there. You got to be on time. You got to know your lines. You got to go and do hair. You got to go and do makeup. And then you have to be prepared, especially when, you're under things like time constraints, budget constraints. You have to be on point. You have to be over prepared. So showing up day one, you're definitely nervous as a lead, because sometimes in your head, you're like, do I even deserve to be here? Should they have picked someone else? I don't even know if I'm ready for this. I know I prepared, but I still feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Once they yell action, you're just trying to do your best. So I feel like going through this character, like Nijah said, I feel like I can do anything, because even with mistakes, even while you're trying to learn, it's like you're still putting your best foot forward. And I know that's what I did. I know that's what Nijah did. I feel like every day we came and we gave our best, even when we didn't feel like we maybe had enough time, or whatever the case may be. But I think that's just the reality of our industry, that it's fast and you got to be ready. And if you're not, you're just not, and that's okay too. But showing up and trying to be prepared and trying to do your best is all anyone can ask for, and that's all we're really ever trying to do as artists, is just constantly grow and get better, take after take, scene after scene. And I think you'll see, even in the show, I feel like we get better and better, because the pilot, we just met each other. Like, you're literally showing up. I don't know you from a can of paint, and then Monday morning we're in a scene together, and we got to be sisters. We got to act like we've known each other for 20 years. And then, so, first scene is not going to be as, tight as your last scene, but I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and hopefully people will see the growth that we have throughout the show.
Ladies, it's been a pleasure speaking with both of you. Obviously, the good thing about the show is that it's a weekly show, so people can have time to fester on episode after episode to see where these characters are going. Hopefully, each of your backgrounds shine afterwards. Because like I said before, like after I was watching, I'm like Googling who you are, what you've done. See, I was like, I've never heard of you guys, but that's how people are. Now that we're living in the world where everything's, there's more of an audience on streaming than going to the theater. So keep doing your thing. We're always here to support. I like the box world. I'm sure people will start looking for that shirt afterwards. So keep it going. And hey, best of success. Hopefully there's a season 2 after this. And if there's so, we'll talk again.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.